now. So all right, so it looks like we are live on Facebook. So everybody, we're going to get started here in just a second. Actually, it's 9 o'clock, so we're going to get started right now. Let me hit the record button so that we make sure that we record this, and we'll get going. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in to our Agent Lab session. Hopefully you got some great stuff from the first Agent Lab session with Jennifer Tim and Joe Green talking about contacts. We got another really good one for you guys here today. We're going to talk to you about opportunities and how you can best maximize those to run an MREA-based business more efficiently and effectively. Got some amazing Market Center Tech trainers with us today. Samir Redwan from Rockville, Maryland, and Ted Townsley from Chesapeake, Virginia. Hey, Samir, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, kind of your background, and then we'll follow up with Ted and get going on this.
Sure, yeah. So I'm a solo agent at Keller Williams Capital Properties in the DC area. I've been in real estate about 17 years, 7 years with KW, and was PC coach about 2 years ago, transitioned into the tech trainer at the Market Center. And Command just came up right in that time, and I really early adapter to it. And I share a passion of coaching agents and teaching the technology.
On mute. All right. So I get the privilege because I'm the regional technology director for the Maryland DC region, and Samir's one of the Market Center tech trainers in the region, and I get the privilege of working with him quite frequently. Ted Townsley in Chesapeake, Virginia is our next door neighbor here, and I know that Dave Donaldson really appreciates having you on his team as well. Ted, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself too?
Yeah, so this is my second year with KW. Obviously, I'm a Market Center tech trainer. I actually came from the auto industry, spent about a decade there. One of my passions is just coaching and coming from contribution and paying it forward. I coach high school athletics. I coach agents. I did coach in the car business as well. So this is, like I said, I'm a rainmaker of a small team down here as well. So yeah, it's a little bit about me. I'm just excited to be here, help out.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds like a background too. My background actually is I was a high school teacher and a head football coach for 10 years. So some good similarities there, Ted. So enough talking about me. I'm going to turn it over to Samir and Ted right now, and they're going to do a deep dive on how to really get started with opportunities for you guys. So Samir and Ted, take it away.
All righty, guys. So I'll kind of jump in here and share my screen. What we're going to start with is just kind of doing an overview of the opportunities dashboard here. So let me get over here. So one of the things that when we talk about opportunities, one of the things that we want to emphasize is this is our sales funnel, right? One of the things that is beneficial with this opportunities dashboard is you can literally see your pipeline here. Again, some people, and the cool thing about this is we can customize this specifically to our business again, and we can model it after the MREA and all the models there in that book. One of the things that you'll notice when you are here on your dashboard screen is going to be this icon over here to the left. It's going to pull you up. You do have leases, but for now we're going to stick mainly in the listing in the buyer side. One of the phases that I personally like to put a lot of emphasis on our team is the cultivate phase. Typically, these are 12 months and out. But again, this is where, as agents, we have a 8:45 meeting on our team every morning. We go over the opportunity screen every single morning for 15 minutes. This is an awesome way for us to know what we have in our pipeline and what we need to do from a follow-up standpoint in order to move those opportunities across the pipeline into the next stage. Now, I run a team, so I do have a team format here. One of the cool things that I did kind of want to go over on the dashboard, if you are a rainmaker, and I know Samir's going to jump over and show you the view as a single agent. On the rainmaker side, you actually have a tab here where you can actually go through your different agents. So when I have individual meetings with my agents around their pipeline, their opportunities, things of that nature, I can more or less individualize which agent has which opportunities. And just give you an example there. So I can kind of scroll in here. One of the things that I did want to touch on too as well and cultivate, and I know we'll jump into this here in a few minutes, but when we talk about creating custom stages and how we can really customize opportunities to our individual businesses, one of the things that we've done is we want to make sure that we're staying on top of these great, social media ads that we're running with Command and these leads that we're generating at, sometimes less than $1. So again, we want to have a system in place. One thing that we've done in our Cultivate section here is create a good internet lead contact made. So, obviously we have our systems in place with smart plans to, actively engage that lead when it comes in. Once we actually make initial contact, what we'll do is we'll actually put them in a Cultivate phase here. Unless obviously, they're working with a realtor, they're not interested, then they wouldn't go into that Cultivate phase. But again, if it's somebody that we have a positive two-way conversation with that may be in the market in the future to buy or sell a home, this is exactly where they're going to go. And depending on the agent, I can literally see our whole team stuff or each individual agent here. So it's just a way for us to stay on top of everything that we have going in our business and for us to visually see, what we actually have in our pipeline.
Yeah, that's great, Ted. So you guys, did you pre-qualify them before they go in that Cultivate? If they have an agent or what does that look like?
That's an awesome question, Samir. So what we typically do is when we actually make contact and we have a two-way conversation, we know they're not currently working with a realtor. What we'll do, because again, some people may not be ready to take that initial step of pre-qualification if they're a year or further out. So once we make that contact, what we'll do is if we know there's an opportunity to convert at some point, we know there needs to be a system of follow-up in place there. So we're definitely going to create that as an opportunity and follow-up. Now, what we do with that opportunity and how well we work it determines, will determine the results. But that's kind of as soon as we make that contact and we know we have an opportunity to convert, it's going in and Cultivate, and we're putting a system in place around it.
Gotcha. And as a solo agent, I kind of do the same thing. When I receive the lead, I try to initiate that two-way conversation and see what they're doing. So if they show interest in doing something in the next 12 months, they're going right in that Cultivate, so I just keep my pipeline up there.
Absolutely. So one thing that I want to jump into real quick, and then I definitely want to, I know you got some things you want to show us too as well, Samir. One of the things that I did want to jump into here is how to actually create some of these custom stages like I have here in Cultivate. So again, and the cool thing about this is we can really make this as custom as we want.
And that's the best feature that I think Command offers is we each run our business a little differently, but it really can be adaptable to the way we want to run it. So yeah.
You said it perfect, Samir. This is probably one of, especially from a business owner standpoint, this is one of the best tools that I personally use on a daily basis just for clarity in regards to what I have to do on a daily basis. So if you want to create some custom stages, I'm gonna walk you back here real quick. We're gonna go over here to your.
Hey Ted, show them when they hit that red KW logo on top. It kind of expands the field, just for them to get familiar with the little icon.
That is awesome. Good talking point there. So yeah, this will, if you don't know what these icons stand for, if you don't use them on a regular basis, by clicking the KW like Samir said, it's gonna pull over the actual words so you can have a little bit more clarity there. So the handshake or obviously opportunities, we're going to click there, which will pull up this screen. Once we're in opportunities, we can go into listing or Cultivate as well. Or appointment, any of these. What we'll do is we'll just go into Cultivate here. Now, when you're actually in this stage, if you look up here to the right, you'll see an edit stage button. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on that. Once you actually click on that, you'll see over here to the right, if we wanted to, we can go in here and add a stage. So if, for example, I wanted to add a stage. Now, the cool thing about this, and the one thing that I know we're going to touch on a little bit more is the cool thing about this pipeline is we can actually see the probability of our conversion rates and what that income, probable income, and possible income looks like. One of the things is, so I know with internet leads, roughly around 3%. So that's kind of where we put the good internet leads. We figure they convert around at 3%. So that's kind of the number that we use. Again, if you have specific numbers to your business, or if you're an individual agent, you have specific numbers to you, definitely use those in these stages. But again, what we can do is just put in any type of percentage that we want. We can change which position in the order it's in. So again, if we wanted this to be number one ahead of good internet leads, we can then save that. Now, again, you have items in the checklist that you can also add here. So if we wanted to add that as a checklist, what we're going to do is save that. Now, once you hit save, you're going to see this pops up here with your probability conversion. So as you put dollar amounts for these opportunities, and a lot of our internet leads, we don't put dollar amounts in yet until we get them a little bit further in the funnel. The main thing is we just want to have clarity there in regards to, you know, what deals what opportunities we need to be working. You can go in and edit any of these stages at any time. Again, here your checklist items are going to be here as well that you can check off. But again, if you make one, you don't end up using it, you don't like it, just as easily you can delete that. So I'm going to jump off here and let Samir jump on and share his screen real quick.
Perfect. And we're going to stay on the dashboard, opportunities dashboard a little longer. And just really, it's really where you're going to run your business. You think as a business owner, and this is like your nerve center of your pipeline, what's going to close, what potential income you're looking at, and really focus on that. So let me share my screen here. And Ted, let me know if when you see it.
There you go. Gotcha.
Okay. So this is an opportunity dashboard here. So like Ted was saying, it's a listing, buyers, and there's 5 stages on each. And I think that's because Gary Keller had a mastermind with other agents, the top producing agents, and mentioned, all right, how many stages are really in the transaction, right? What's the process look like? So definitely the cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and then our favorite is close date, right? So this is a great dashboard to keep track of that. And this assigns a value to it. So there's the potential income that you're looking at as a business owner, a probable income, and that's done for the listings as well as for the buyers. I focus listings, buyers, and you can also do leases. I really don't focus on that in my business. But this just gives you a great overview of what you're looking at for potential income and probable income. And then down here is the ratio of listings to buyers to leases, right? So that, where's your business coming from? Actually, I did my business plan earlier in 2020. I was going to say, hey, I'm focused 70% on listings. Oops, look, I'm 70% on buyers right now. So it lets me know where to go from here, right, as I reassess.
Yeah, I agree, Samir. That's an awesome tool that we use too, because I think if you don't have the data and the clarity, you don't know where you need to focus. You don't know where your 20% is, right? So this kind of helps keep us in our 20%.
Yeah, and you know, with this whole COVID thing, I think that's shifted, but buyers are still knocking down on doors, man. So that's what it shows, right, from my sphere. And I get 80% of my business from my sphere. So, and then down here at the bottom, you see how many closings scheduled for the month. So I'm sure for Ted, that's very helpful, and see what the team's doing. You get a bird's eye view of where you should focus and everything, and double check and everything like that. So then within each stages, there's different buckets right here, right? So right here is the cultivate and the watch section, right? So like Ted was showing us, we can definitely edit the stages and just make it how your business is, right? So let me move this screen here. So on the watch stage, I put 3 checklists. So you can add the stage if you want, or just click on the checklist. And of course, the first watch is get phone number from the lead. That's when you connect, right? Get email of lead and get address of lead and put that in the database. And you could check that off. Appointments, same thing, different stages, and you create a checklist. And you build the checklist as you want for your business, right? So right here, I have send reminder to seller of upcoming appointment. Like, hey, I'm looking forward to meet with you. It just tells me how to run my business or the tasks I have to do.
Yeah, I agree, Samir. I know from a team standpoint, having those checklists in place, it definitely, as a rainmaker, it allows you to make sure your agents know what the expectations are,
Right.
and what they need to be doing. So those tools are awesome.
Awesome. Anything else on this, Ted? The dashboard, I think, I mean, I could totally geek out on this forever.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool things. I mean,
Yeah.
other than maybe just moving them through, I think that's the only thing we haven't shown yet. If you want to
Okay.
show them how
So,
to move one through,
yeah, which is,
it's pretty simple, but still, it's good to know.
well, yeah, back in the old days, I used to have the folders on my desk and I would just move them through, the priority ones on top and everything. And hey, I need to meet with them. But just right here in my buyers cultivate. So this buyer watched it. We had a great conversation. Ooh, they're really getting interested here. So let me nurture them. And you just pick it up and move them through the process. And let's just say right on this phone call, they were like, okay, let's go ahead and meet next week. Well, instead of just going there, I just go straight to the appointment tab and put them in there.
Yeah, I really like that.
Here they go. We scheduled the appointment, and then we go through that checklist. So I had created that before I did the checklist template, but now I did create one. So now I just create from template. Let's see what my internet connection does right now. And there, it assigns that checklist to them. So start creating the folder, include contact and info, MLS printout, just to get ready for that appointment, introduction, pre-qualification, schedule buyer consult. Really guides you step by step. There's no way you're gonna mess up. It helps me stay consistent in my business and delivering consistent service to every client.
Yeah, I agree. It just allows you to work and not think as much, right?
Right. Well, at least the checklist part, right? So after doing it so many years, yeah, it's in my head, but technically I still have these sticky notes everywhere. I don't know if people can see that. Totally trying to stay away from that now and just go ahead and use that. I know you showed a little bit on how to create a stage or edit a stage. Mm-hmm. So same here. I do it exactly how Ted showed it. You could add a stage here, depending on how your business runs, so. And items and checklist, you just add it to different, so schedule an initial appointment. If you do something specific for your team, you just add the item there and save it. Just go on app appointment, like dumb it down, right? Make sure you save it here and then save it again. I've done the mistake, and as I'm training other agents as well, they work on this whole checklist and forget to hit the last save button at the end, and they got to start over. So just a few heads up on that. And I think at this point, Ted, if you have anything else, I'm
Yeah,
going to
I was
show
gonna
everybody
say,
how. Huh?
I was gonna say we could jump in and show them actually how to create an opportunity.
Sounds
Um,
great. So I'm going to go ahead, go back to opportunities, the dashboard. And here on the right-hand side, there's create an opportunity. All right, my market center defaults to Rockville. If you're part of different market centers, the dropdown would show that. So make sure you assign it to which market center you're working from. I'm sure you, Ted, you have the team option here. So
yeah,
you're the rate maker. Is that how you work? Everything
yeah,
goes
man.
under your account?
Yeah, so what we can do, if you want to build one out here as a solo agent, I can jump on real quick and build one
Sure.
out from a team perspective.
All right. So just a little caution, it does default to a listing opportunity. So if you're working a buyer, just make sure you select the buyer part. So it puts it in the right section. And then client. So in order to enter a client there, the client has to be entered as a contact, or else it will not populate from the list. So I put myself as my nickname, Sam, right there. At this point, it's a buyer opportunity, so we don't know which address it is. For my listings, I like to just go ahead and put the listing address right there, just to keep things consistent, and the buyer last name, first name. Custom tags, you can assign it if you're working with a certain lender. You can just put their name there, and at the end of the year, it's like, whoa, I had 13 transactions with this lender. I better send them a thank you card. To be in business with me, you know, it really helps you track it. Estimated close date. At this point, it would be just a estimate. So let's say we just started working together. I'm gonna market's hot. I'm gonna try to close by the end of July. Yeah, let's do July 30th. Time frame next month. They really want to get moving. Budget, let's just do 500K. Let's put the percentage you work for. And you could place them in which opportunity phase you want. So at this point, we had the appointment. I think they signed it. And just a reminder, please, 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 if somebody's thinking of doing something in real estate next 12 months, I know I said that earlier, go ahead and create an opportunity for them. I know a lot of agents create the opportunity when they're under contract, because in most market centers, that's how you get paid. So, but really track your business, and you're gonna start seeing a pattern of your conversion rates and all that. As a business owner, you should know all that. So,
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's a great point.
and which stage? So let's just do contract appointment, because I intend to sign him. And let's go ahead and create it. And it brings you to that opportunity. So here, there's the market center that's assigned, who the buyer is. Owner, I'm a solo agent, so the owner is going to be me. Which phase it's in, stage, estimated close date, and then everything we entered, the budget and commission rate. It's very important, I think, also as you go to the appointment, secure the contract, to go ahead and update that. When did you win the appointment? When was the appointment? Agreement 1. And you can hit that little pencil here and really enter that information in here, because that's going to keep track of your conversion rates and show your numbers. Command's going to be able to pull all that information and data and really track everything for you. And if you selected the property, you would enter it here once you're under contract, and auto populates it. It's pretty neat. And then we can definitely, other classes and stuff, I know I go really in depth in this, to jump in, because because I really geek out on this stuff. But there's buyer profile, see if they linked up to your app, your consumer app, documents, offers, commissions, my favorite part, and go from there. So that's how you create an opportunity as a solo agent.
Yeah, man, I think one of my favorite things that's in there, whether you're a solo agent or a team, is the notes and opportunities.
Oh yeah.
And I'll kind of jump into that from a Rainmaker standpoint.
Let me unshare my screen here. It's all yours.
All righty. Jump back on here. All right, let me jump into some of these active ones that we have. Find one that has some updates on it. Let me see if we got any notes in it. No notes in this one. Find one with some notes in there. So yeah, one of the cool things in the opportunity screens are the actual deals with notes in them. A lot of these ones I'm clicking on here, I have notes, but I'm gonna go here. So one of the cool things is when you go in here, as a Rainmaker, I can leave a note on this opportunity. It's gonna have my profile picture that I have attached to Command, and any of my agents will be able to see it. So the cool thing is, let's just say,
Yeah, and I think the note section is really key to keeping everybody in communication throughout the transaction.
So the cool thing about this, the agent that I have this opportunity assigned to, when they actually go into this opportunity details, which again, I'll go in how do you assign opportunities if you are a Rainmaker. But the cool thing is once this opportunity is assigned to them, they'll be able to go and any notes that they make, I'll be able to see. So I can, if in a perfect world, we're updating the notes on our opportunities. So I can basically, as a Rainmaker, hit my dashboard on opportunities, click through each individual opportunity, and actually get an update on where it's at, and when the last, because all of those notes are dated and timestamped. So that's one thing that's really, really cool. One thing that I'm going to jump over to, and I know we just kind of went through it with Samir, but again, as he mentioned, it's going to default to a listing. So if it is a buyer or a listing, just make sure you differentiate the two. I as well, I'm going to use myself. I'm in here somewhere. There. That's what it is. So again, just like Samir said, it's going to default here to buyer. What we do for compliance with our MCA is once it's under contract, we change it to the address, or once we have an address and a ratified contract, the opportunity will then change to the address. Custom tags, as Amir said, is huge for us. One of the things that I do, if it's an internet lead, I want our agents, when I assign them stuff, if they want to look at all their internet leads, I want them to be able to search in their contacts by internet leads. So again, going in here, I think the source, the more, if we have a referral agent, an ISA that sent us something, I make sure we tag that in the opportunity. So that way we make sure our ISAs are being taken care of as well. All those different things.
It's a great tracking system. Yeah.
Yeah, so the biggest difference between what you saw on Samir's screen and mine is when you get down here to create, the only difference is you're going to have your assignees down here. Now, at which point I can literally, and the cool thing is if I have, depending on if it's a deal and you have multiple agents helping with the transaction for whatever reason, and you're going to compensate both agents, you can literally assign multiple. So again, like if I have an ISA that's on this deal, I can actually put them and assign them on the deal too. So this is where you would actually go when you're creating an opportunity if you want to assign it to an agent. Now, one other thing that I did want to touch on as a Rainmaker in opportunities is there are settings that you can set up to where your agents can you can set up to where your agents can create opportunities outside of the team, or you can have it where every opportunity that agents create are inside the team scope, if that makes sense. So basically anything they create, you would see it on when you pulled up their individual stuff over here. But yeah, so that's pretty much where the big difference is just going in. And again, if you have an opportunity that's already assigned to someone and you want to change who it's assigned to, same thing Amir said, you just go in here. And when you jump in here, all you do is X that assignee out and hit save. In this case, we're not doing anything, so we're just going to exit out of that one. But again, that's where you would go to make any changes on who the leads are assigned to. Once that opportunity is assigned to them, they would basically have this access here. And then they would also have access to see the contact right here and go directly to the contact. So yeah, just a few differences, but nothing too crazy from Rainmaker to Solo Agent there. Just making sure you have the ability to assign it to who you want to. Trying to think, right offhand, did you have anything right offhand that you think we should touch on?
Well, no, I mean, I think that's the basic overview of the opportunity without diving deep in each little subsection of a subsection. I think overall, I just want to maybe have a conversation, Ted, of how it's helped my business and refocus me and really see what's in the pipeline and not miss little opportunities, no pun intended. Because sometimes you have, like I said, when I started, I had the folders on my desk, and then it fell behind the desk. I find it a week later, and especially if it's an open house buyer or something, they're gone and they'd moved on, right? So, and then the transition to an Excel spreadsheet to keep a pipeline, what I mean? It's like 90 days out, 30 days in, you know what I mean? So, but really having everything talked to in one place was very key for me.
Yeah, man. I tell you, I think the car guy in me, I love like sales boards and whiteboards with writing and all that stuff. And I have one in our office, and I look at it, and like now that we're using opportunities at the level that we are, I don't ever use the whiteboard, and I'm kind of like, I gotta repurpose this thing. I gotta find something. I gotta find use for it somewhere in the office for something, whether it's motivation or something. Because we're not using it for opportunities, because we literally, like I said, we have our 8:45 meeting every morning. And like I said, that screen, being able to share my screen, us all pull our opportunities up. I mean, it's been a game changer for our team and our business, just to have clarity daily, Monday through Friday.
And indirectly accountability, right? So, because if you put it on that big screen at 8:45 in the morning, people, I don't know. I'm a little competitive myself.
Hey, you're like me, man. So if I'm coming up and I'm on the bottom, I'm like, got to do something today to change that. So
yeah, so I'm sure it really built that culture in your team and sense
you're right.
of purpose.
You're 100% right, man. I think you hit the nail on the head. It does help create that self accountability, which is one of the things that's one of the more challenging things in this industry, right? We're really good about the freedom aspect.
Right.
Sometimes it's being accountable when we need to. And I think these systems, these tools that we have with opportunities and command in general definitely help give us that structure in a world where there can be a lot of noise, if that makes sense.
Yep, it totally does. So
what I was going to ask you, man, so what has been your biggest, what's your favorite thing about opportunities in general? Like, if you can name one thing that's probably like your favorite thing.
That's a good question. There's a few things, but I think just the overall tracking and then moving each opportunity through those different stages and seeing the percentage of probable income grow and grow and grow, and to almost 90%. Like I'm gonna go buy my car, right? No.
Right, you're already you're like, all right, so that money's no. So I'm the same way, man. I mean, when you see the potential, like in the probable, in the gap there,
Yeah.
that gap should like that's the discipline aspect, right? That's the systems,
Bingo.
models, and processes. And I know like I gotta fill that gap, and I
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen if I do, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and that just motivates me to do my lead gen in the morning and focus on that cultivate section until I can move them
Absolutely,
to an
man.
appointment. Exactly.
And I think, and dude, honestly, the way what you just said, focusing on the cultivate section, I mean, when I heard that, that just spoke to me because I really do feel like a lot of people use opportunities for when they have something in the next 10 days that's
Right.
about to hit and we need to get paid, right? And yeah, you can use it obviously like that if you want. And there's no judgment around that. But I think if you honestly embrace what this platform is and you use it to its fullest, you're going to be better for it. Your business is going to be better for it. And, the sky's the
Yeah,
limit then, right?
exactly. And that's why we're in business, right? To fund the perfect life, right? So, um, yeah. So how has your team transitioned into that? Were you using a different platform before, or how did that look like?
So it's actually kind of interesting. I came from a small local brokerage
Mhm.
originally, and we actually there had developed that they had developed their own self proprietary CRM.
Oh, wow.
Um, so it was like I said, it was a smaller brokerage, about 60, 70 people, and they were attached with a builder, and so I'm familiar with that kind of process. Um, but yeah, like I said, when I switched over to KW was right New Orleans family reunion
Oh,
2019.
wow.
So it was right when the big command rollout and then all the put command stuff buzz was happening. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, I can pay for this and I was already using a self proprietary one anyway. So hey, let's roll with this. And coming from the car business, I'd worked with a ton of different CRMs, and when the owner said change, we didn't have a choice.
Choice,
So it's
right?
kind of like just adjust and roll and adapt and make the best of it. So it's kind of the mindset when I joined KW. This was rolling out. I was like, let's roll with it,
Let's roll with
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
And the cool thing and the thing that over the past like from that point to now, I think every single day, like I'm more excited about it because it only gets better every day,
It
right?
does.
So like if I can run my business, if our market center is being run via command and it's only getting better every day, what does that mean for my business?
Right.
Like, you know,
Yeah,
that's,
sky's the limit. So yeah, I was using the eEdge platform, a market leader. Love it. So as the KW command was rolling out, I'm slowly transitioning, and I'm 90% on command fully. But yeah, I was doing that business meeting. I'm solo agent, so me, myself, and I in the mirror, right? So that's my 8:45 in the morning meeting.
there you go.
It was like, all right, from a business aspect of it and cost cutting, hey, I'm getting provided this. I don't need to go look for different platforms or anything like that. So it's very important.
I was gonna ask you, man. So I know you said you're not almost 90, almost 100% now in the command, and you
Yeah.
were using some other paid platforms. What type of savings what has that done for your business, saving that type of money as you
But it's
transitioned
definitely,
over to command?
and especially with this new normal we're in, definitely dived in back into the shift book, cutting expenses and stuff like that. It's really cut down the expenses and return on investment is key. So yeah,
Yeah, no, that's like I said, that was kind of for me. Everybody was talking about during the pandemic, cutting expenses
yeah,
and everybody's looking at I saw a lot of people looking at their technology and looking at switching over to command, and I'm trying to figure out places I can cut elsewhere because I'm already in command and like I said, so that was a different challenge for me during the pandemic. But again, like I said, I think the tools that we have in command, when utilized fully, especially in this new normal,
yeah,
it's gonna really help us, take over that mind share, which over time will help us take over that market share.
exactly. So I was thinking of like what people out there, what I would say if you have any questions, definitely reach out to your tech ambassador in your market center. We all have a passion of seeing, at least having that conversation, and how each applet in Command really can help you in your business and make you productive and profitable. So, any advice for people out there like that?
I mean, dude, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I know us as market center tech trainers, we all, like you said, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And I think that's why as a team we complement each other. You know, if I have an area, I have an agent that comes to me, and I don't have the answer. That's not my wheelhouse specialty, so to speak. That's okay. I have the resources, and maybe I'm giving Samir a call and saying, "Hey, Samir, got a quick question for you." Right? And it's just being able to understand that we have resources, and if we don't have the answer, we know somebody that does.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, I think utilizing your market center tech trainers is one of the biggest assets and tools that you can use when you do run into some issues with the tech. Because again, a lot of times we're just finding it's lack of education, and that's what we're here and what we love to do, right? So
Yeah, and the ultimate goal is to have everybody build the business they want. So
absolutely,
that's
man.
the thing.
So I mean, like I said, I'm trying to think in regards to opportunities. I mean, like I said, we could definitely, if you get really intricate into the smaller applets and that stuff. I mean, we, like, you already know, me and you've had conversations all week. We can
Right.
geek out on this stuff all day long.
Exactly.
But from I think before you start geeking out on it too much, I think just using it at the basic level that we talked about today for your business is going to help you tremendously. And then once you master that aspect and you get comfortable with that, then you can really crank it up another notch or another level, so to speak.
I agree. Just you can't break it. That's what I remember when they were launching all these little things. Like just break. They want us to really use it and give feedback. And don't be shy to make suggestions on. There's a place in Command where you can make suggestions. We're all business owners, and that's why I like KW. Everybody has an open mind and see, hey, how do you run your business? How can we make it? Let's see what we can do with that. So that's
absolutely, man.
And great support, KW support right on the command. Hit that button. They do answer real quick.
Like I said, man, I mean, between and with KW support, you know, your market center tech trainers, your regional tech trainers, I mean, just the systems and processes they're putting in place too. There is that structure there, and there's a group of people out there that want to help as much as possible. So we're, like I said, just reach out to us. Anything we can do to help, we're always here. And we love geeking out on this stuff too. So
you said it, Ted.
Awesome. Well, great job, guys. Got a couple minutes here real quick. Just wanted to jump back in for a second and, you know, a couple quick fire questions for you guys to wrap stuff up. So Samir, what's one of your favorite parts about Command? What excites you the most besides opportunities, obviously?
No, the overall platform that you have your CRM in there. The smart plans is really something I'm really taking on. Actually the Facebook ads lead through Command. I ran an ad the other day. I think, John, I'll show you a screenshot of it next time we talk. But I think I got it down to 64 cents a lead.
Wow, 64 cents a lead. That's amazing.
Man, that's awesome.
So that psyched me up really good. So
yeah, I get excited when I can get south of $2. You start talking about getting south of $1. That's crazy.
I just got to know what I did for that one ad, though. You know,
copy. So. You need to send some copy of that out to Ted and myself and everybody else out there that's watching.
Yeah, sure. I'm making an ad after this, so if you want to send that to me.
No problem, man.
For sure. What about you, Ted? What's one of your favorite things about Command?
Man, it's really hard to kind of narrow it down. Like Samir said, I could geek out on this stuff all day long. I love campaigns. I love the fact that we can generate leads. That I think, as we talked about, I'm super competitive too, like Samir. So like for me, it's like, how low can I get that cost per lead, right? So it's kind of like a competition in my mind mentally So like as I'm developing the advertisement, I'm like, how can I make this better, right? And like I said, I think honestly, my favorite thing about the platform, honestly, is the fact that it gets better every single day. So like, how can you wake up and not be excited that the platform that you're using is only going to be better? So I think that's kind of that's really what does it for me.
Yeah, that's you kind of hit the nail on the head right there, and that's what really excites me a lot about Command is that if you look at where we're at in the space versus a year ago, it's leaps and bounds better and different, and we're still on version 1 of really everything. And so what this tool is going to do, and what I always really kind of liken it to, is if you look at what the iPhone did, we're on the iPhone 11 now. iPhone 1 versus iPhone 11, two totally different things. Can you imagine what Command's going to look like and be able to do for us in our business in 11 years, right? I mean, look at all that it does in year 1, let alone, year 11. So some pretty exciting stuff. Yeah. All right, so we are at the end mark here. Just want to, again, thank Samir and Ted for coming on to show you guys how to start incorporating opportunities into your business. We are now going to go into a break until 10:30 Pacific. That will be 12:30 Central and 1:30 Eastern. And then we'll be back on for session 3. And then Jason Abrams is going to rock it and close us out at the end of the day after session 3 is over. But again, we'll be having 5 sessions going into the next one. You guys can go back during this break and eat or watch some of the videos of the other ones that have just taken place. But all those will again be everything's being recorded and put onto the Facebook page so that you guys can access later. Tuning out. Thanks again, John Morse from the Maryland, DC region. Thanks again to Samir and Ted for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.